back in California.
Yes, I'm back again. Now it's normal and I don't lag, and I'm not sitting on a weird laptops my mother's place. So, yep.
Well, that's good.
So let's see here. I'm setting things up. Logged into
good. Did you have time to prep for this?
Yeah, a little bit.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah, I did it on the way back a little
wow,
bit.
Cool.
Yep.
Very cool.
Not as much as I would like to, but a little bit. So I have some things.
Awesome.
Yep.
Motions right now here. All the shout outs, all that stuff.
Good.
Oh, you should just have gotten one.
Is Mike come in?
No, I haven't seen Mike yet. Okay.
Go.
Button. Okay. Oh, nice. 58 months. Oh my gosh. Almost 5 years. Almost there, man. Wow. Two months away from 5 years. And I think we held the fort pretty well while you were gone.
Oh, I think so. Yeah, I haven't watched last week, so I need to catch up on that one.
With Troy?
Yes.
Oh wow, yeah.
Yep.
And then Sunday nights went well too.
Yeah, I haven't seen that either.
With the Inked Mage on. So, that was
yeah, the
good, too.
pictures looked awesome in the one that you had for the ad.
Yeah, he has. He's pretty impressive with his stuff, as much as we are, you know.
Yeah.
So. Let me see here. Okay. Everything looks good. Hey, Fuzz, Troy, Enoch, Tim, good to see y'all. Good to see you. Anna is back, which is awesome. Like, what am I forgetting? Titles updated, sounds good, right? I'm assuming you guys can hear me.
Yeah, you sound good here, but that's only on Zoom. Yep.
Yeah, okay. Yep, Troy just
Thank
said
you,
welcome
Troy.
back.
Yep, thank you. Yes, I know, Troy. I know. I'm so sorry.
We let, you know, it was good. Mike came up with some obscure stuff too. He even stumped Troy on one.
Yeah.
Which is really cool. So
yeah,
that was good.
Troy and me can probably see. We can probably. I can kind of make amends a little bit. Maybe soon. We'll see. That might be an announcement later on about that.
Oh, cool. Tino, Lando, David, Ben, Sam Weiss, good to see y'all.
Yeah, I had a good one for the most part, really good.
Oh, Awesome. Thanks, Troy. Oh, you almost hyped us. So close.
Oh, you got a new Trollord video.
Oh yeah, yeah. But this Kickstarter just ended, so yeah.
Oh,
Oh
okay,
yeah,
well,
absolutely.
Now they have to give you a new one.
Yeah, I said to him, I said they gotta be. Yeah, I think I got this right when you left. I think it was like
Okay.
2 streams after you left. I got it.
Oh,
so.
yeah, I haven't received this one until now. So yeah, good one.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
All right, this. Good to see. Yeah, it's good to see. Yeah, definitely. Oh, Fuzz! Wow, dude. Thanks. Boom! Thank you so very much.
Awesome.
I don't know where Mikey is, but that's all right. It's only 7:52. Thank you. Well, thank you, Troy. And that was the idea, was to get on with him, find out about him, and just shoot the shit, right? And that's what we did. We had a really great discussion, learned some things. You know, I invited him on for the round table and for the next Ed game. You know, so I'm working with Ed now on our next Sunday night talk show and Saturday night game. We're trying to work out dates. What's up, Mike? So that'll be cool.
Hello. Thank you.
It was a fun discussion. I like those casual ones. You know, I love to throw them in there where you just have a little fun. This is a tough one to decide what direction to go with. So, oh my gosh, it says aquatic lore of Greyhawk with cannibal. Whoops, I missed that. Whoops.
Yep.
Tonight. Villain. Okay, I'm going to change it on the fly. Lairs. Boom. That was funny.
Well, Troy, you can come on this one too. That will be awesome.
That was really, that was pretty funny.
Part 2.
Part 2. Thank you. We'll come live. Anna's here, so we'll come live. Whoops, you guys. Let's see here. I need to do that. Where are you? Hold on one sec.
See,
Stupid
I'm
Zoom.
lost in cyberspace now.
Zoom. Stupid Zoom here. If I go like that. There we go.
There we
Jeez.
go. Yep.
Thank you. Good to see everyone. Hope everyone's doing well. And by the way, thank you for everyone who's contributed to the pieces of aid to the hype train so far. We got going. We had so if you want to know, Sunday night I did research. Remember we had a golden Kappa hype train. I'm like, what the F is that? And I looked it up. It's an ultra rare event that happens. And in my 5 years of streaming, I've never had one. So that was the first time I ever had a golden Kappa stream. And the Kappa head turned gold for me for like 48 hours. I could link it into other streams and stuff, and that's what it was. So first time ever I had a golden Kappa stream, and who knows if I'll have another one coming up. But we're gonna do Villainous Lairs tonight. Another Mike idea. So welcome back, Anna. How was Sweden?
It was great for the most part. Great. There was some sad moments when you visit colleagues there's wars going on and big one in Ukraine, and that affected people I know. So that was one thing, and some old relatives that got very much older and have some medical issues. But apart from that, it was great. So I had a lot of fun in between. So it was great, and there was some fun flying coming back. They're Air France pilots, they fly like daredevils sometimes. Said it was kind of fun. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Mhm.
Well, I guess it could be worse with some
Yeah.
other ones, right? Beyond
Yeah.
that, so oh my gosh,
So it was good. Yeah, there was
crazy
some bad
stuff.
weather up over Greenland, so it was kind of so they had to do some abortive maneuvers, and that was kind of fun.
Oh my
Yeah.
gosh.
Yeah. Mhm.
So well, it's good to have you back. You missed some fun
Thank you.
things, but that was
Yes.
you
Yeah.
know, that was a fun time. We had Mike and I have last week was really good. We've had Will on a couple times. That went really well. You know, so we've had some really good streams. While you were gone. Not to say that you're being
Yep.
replaced, but just
Oh, it's
look
good.
who's back
Indeed.
there, Troy.
Yep.
I mean, Josh. Yep. So I got some feedback, and I'm wondering if it's on my end. Give me 1 second
Uh-oh.
here.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got a feedback in my. It's coming. Thank you for the hype chain.
So, is there anything that you had planned to do, Anna, that you didn't have time for?
There was one friend I was going to see that I didn't have time for, but that they didn't. It didn't really do, and I was hoping to go to London, but that was kind of a long shot. That didn't pan out, unfortunately.
No.
But there was
That
some fun stuff. I did some hiking over in old burial sites and old stuff from the Iron Age and the Bronze Age and stuff. That was a lot of fun. So I learned some old history and that was a lot of fun. And I thought about old Flan stuff. That was perfect kind of getting the creative juices flowing on old legends and stuff. And I did a lot of writing on my laptop because my laptop is not up to snuff when it comes to graphic stuff. So I have to so I did a lot of writing, and the problem is that my writing is not that good, so I had to read and edit it at least once or twice before I publish it. So that's why I'm sorry that I haven't published more than 2 things. I think I did while I was gone for a month. So that will be more things coming. So now I'm back again and doing heraldry and a whole bunch of other stuff that is coming. So it's a lot of catching up for me. So I'm back and I'm unpacked. So now I'm dangerous again. Yep.
All right, so can I toot my own horn here real quick?
Please do.
All right, so go to my Facebook page here. So thank you there. If you know Ron Meissner, he's running this Philadelphia area gaming expo.
Yeah.
I got invited as a VIP. So there I go, my first VIP invite to a con. So he gave me a nice write-up and with stuff here linked here. So it was really nice to do. Other guests.
That's great.
Other guests are Frank Menser, Jeff D. Who else is there? Elaine Cunningham's going to be there. Who else? Joe Block is going to be there. Chet Mitten is going to be there. So, yep. So it's set. And check it out, the Philadelphia Area Gaming Expo. I think it's there it is, Friday, January 5th through Monday, January 7th. And I'm not sure. I'm at least going to be there Saturday and Sunday. We'll work it out. So, but just to note that, and I'm going to do some live streaming from there. So there you go.
How are Januaries in Philly?
Well, this is not in Philly. If it was in Philly, I wouldn't be going.
It's
not. It's in Oaks. It's outside. It's out near King of Prussia. If it was in the city of Philadelphia, I wouldn't be going because I'm not going to do PAX Unplugged this year. Call me a chicken. I don't know. I just So yeah. Casey. Hey, look. I live 6 miles from Philly now on the South Jersey side. I just. I got to drive through Philly every day, man, for work. So, hey, good to see you there, April. It's good to see you. All right. So tonight's topic is a wonderful, wonderful discussion on Villainous Lairs at Greyhawk. So, Mike, what were your thoughts behind this one?
Well, my thoughts was I put this topic out a few times, and you chose other topics over it first.
Okay.
So I'm a little hesitant about this one. My other thought is that this could be a spoilery topic, although
Mhm.
we've been doing so many episodes of these that I feel like we're beyond spoilers now, aren't we?
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think so. And
Yeah.
you know, what are you gonna do at
Yeah.
this point? You know what I mean?
I'm going to ban all my players from watching this.
Yeah, you can't do that. And it's like, Mike, I look at it this way: my freaking table's exposed. My guy, you
Mhm.
know what I mean? How am I gonna? I'm not putting blankets over my stuff. You know, I'm not doing it. You know, so it's the same. It's kind of the same thing.
Well, anyhow, so the spirit of this for me is we're talking about layers. We're talking about the final boss. We're skipping to the end of an adventure, essentially. That's my thought
Yeah, true.
behind this topic.
Yeah. So, but not
We'll see how it
necessarily
goes.
true, because there's different types of villainous layers.
Well, we're going to find out.
Uh-huh. I think I got a real sleeper.
Okay,
Yeah.
good.
Yeah. And you know me, I went to all the old classics, some of my own, and but mostly all the old classics, because I just like, you know, ones especially that you know are exciting, or really show something neat in it, or just have a memorable end boss with some cool setups, you know. So yes, my house, exactly. So all right, Mike,
So it's
why don't you give us one of your mainstays here?
okay. Yeah, yeah. I'll talk about the one that made me think at the top.
Classic D&D
And
reprint giveaway, by the way, everyone. There you go.
yeah, perfect tie-in too.
Mhm.
So the one that made me think of this topic is the Steading of the Hill Giant Chief.
Watch
This
this.
is
We didn't
the
even talk.
lair, the home of Chief Nosra. You know, the whole Steading is his lair. It's his home. It's basically one big building.
I knew you were
It's
going
a
to say this.
it's a dungeon crawl that's above ground, and it's just one big building. I've ran this 2 or 3 times, you know, with limited, you know, success, varying success, I mean. And one of the things I really admire about it is that it's, at least when I was younger, it's like the from the illustrations, it's a log cabin. It's this massive
Yeah.
log cabin, and it says in the rules that the timbers are you can't, they don't catch fire. You can't burn the place down, because yeah, that would be an easy way to just burn out all the giants, right? So it's like every good layer has, and this will be a repeating theme, I guess. Every good layer has some kind of defenses like that, to foil players. But for the most part, you know, it's like I said, it's one big giant romp. It's a place that, you know, sometimes you gotta be stealthy. You gotta sneak around in it, and I think that's different than your standard dungeon crawl where you're just going room to room clearing things. Yeah, this is a place where if you cause a racket in one place, you're gonna draw all this attention.
Yeah, that's a cool pick of it.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's a simple illustration,
Yeah.
and it tells players everything they need to know about this place. It's massive.
Now I can see I can see this place getting lit if it was possible, but I can't. Like I told
But
the story 100 times of the people down at the shore gaming store. We didn't want to deal with Strahd, so we just burnt Ravenloft down. I'm like, how the hell do you burn a castle down? Yeah, yeah. So, but this place, you know. But here's a question. We all know what's in this great hall, right? I don't think it fits. I don't think they fit. It's not big enough for
More
30
space.
giants, right?
Well, it squares 10 feet, I imagine, on that one. So
One giant
maybe
takes
even
up 10
to-
feet almost,
yeah.
right?
hmm
Yeah, I don't
At
think
least they can't do much effective fighting if
it's
they're
so
all
freaking-
crammed in there.
Yeah, I think it's too small.
Mhm.
But hey,
Yep.
whatever. It's
But that's a thing with a lot of old adventures that they need to fit in on the page in the adventure, and yeah.
I remember this was one of Jason Zavoda's favorites, especially one of his favorites written by Gary Gygax, because it's only 8 pages long, and it's a great villainous.
Less is more.
Less is more in this case, absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, if it's 20 feet per square, that's times 4, right, BB? That's quadrupling it. So that would be no problem. But it's all good. I mean, back in the day, like this hall up here is even bigger, but it doesn't matter. It's part of the fun of the game, to have those little quirks in it. So no, these are 10s.
Yeah,
These
a
are
lot of
10s.
adventures back then had
right
10
here, one
feet
square is
squares. Yep.
Yeah. So. Yep. They rip. Good one though, Mike. Real good one.
Another neat thing about the place is that
Blue box.
it's dynamic. There are visitors. There are, other giants who come here, and then there is a means to get from this place to the next adventure, and it's all within one layer.
Thank you very much for the raid, John.
Yeah.
So we're talking Villainous Lairs at Greyhawk, and we just started our first one, so you're not missing anything. Welcome, everyone. Enjoy this conversation. Participate in it. We're gonna hit up some Greyhawk classics, maybe some obscure ones too. But this is G1, the fire pit in the middle of the Great Hall with all the giants. Yeah, that's it. That's the first one we got to that Mike brought up, which was Mike's topic. There's a picture of it. Yes, it's all wood. It's a log cabin. One of the biggest log cabins in existence.
Let's say your players manage to clear it out.
Mm-hmm.
Can it be repurposed for medium-sized folk?
Yes, but the problem is it's in dangerous territory.
Yeah.
It's not like it's going to become a mountain retreat where you're going to go skiing.
No. But that's always the impulse of
absolutely.
This is ours now. Well, what are you going to do
absolutely.
with giant doors and giant furniture?
By the way, classic D&D reprint, everyone giveaway. I got great stuff as Treasures of Greyhawk, The Drow, The Underdark, Ravenloft, all right, and some others. So please sign up, ! Drawing. You have to be on to win. Okay? So good to see everyone. Good start, Mike. Good start with that. Really have some fun ones here. I put some other ones up top. I'm ready and prepared. I had that ready to go. I figured that's where you were going to go. That's why I didn't discuss that one. So good one, Mike. So all right, Anna, what do you got?
Well, first of all, I want to so it's good to be back. And I was thinking, what is the definition of a lair, so to speak? Does it need to be a building, a physical place, or is it just where the master villain hangs out, the boss monster, or whatever you call it? Or so I'm going to test the theory here if it needs to be.
You're gonna break the topic already?
Exactly. I'm going to break the topic right away, so to speak. I'm going to try and break it on my first one. This is one that I didn't create the villain. He is Vakunis. He's from I Use the Evil, one of I Use henchmen, kind of a mid-level henchman, not one of the top ones, but he's clearly up there, so to speak. And his tome is in many sense in my campaign is a lair in itself, so to speak. That's where he can hide out. It's kind of a pocket plane
in the tome.
Yeah. In the tome, so to speak. So you have to go in there and fight him and a bunch of others. So that is basically the place, so to speak, where you have to go in order to get him. And it is a place, but it's a dimensional place. So
I have this one here, which is similar, Anna.
Yeah.
Good. Yep. That's a good one.
So it's like Leomund's tiny hut, but you spend
Harry Potter.
a lot of your time there.
It's the Horcruxes.
Yep, it's kind of it's the book. So
it is, and the essences was stored within. Yeah, absolutely.
Is it possible for players to follow him there?
Oh yes. Characters can do it. Yeah, whether they want to or not. Sometimes they can get dragged in too. So yeah.
Then lair. And it probably has its own defenses and wards because it's a magic.
Yes, yeah,
Well,
well, yeah, it
Thanks,
has
Patrick.
it because it's only you can only enter it in under certain circumstances, so to speak, and it also since it's its own dimension, that means that it doesn't function. A lot of things doesn't function like in the normal. It's basically a version because he was a demonologist, so it's basically a part of the abyss. So it's abyssal essence, so it works like the abyss in a lot of sense. So it is evil and chaotic, and a lot of bad stuff can happen to you while you're in there, so to speak.
Where do I go first?
Mm-hmm.
Sorry.
This is
Okay.
tough. This is tough.
Yep, it's tough.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go with my
Good job.
classic that both that Carlos and I love. All right, let's just do it. Come up here to Igwil's Horn. Right. Just the lair itself is so iconic in its picture.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah.
The illustrations
It
help.
is I think it's the best illustration. Period. Right. Period. That was ever made for D&D. I mean, it's just so iconic here.
Like it should go on a museum
Yeah.
wall.
I was looking at, here we go. There. That's a lair. So the lair of Drelsna and Lost Caverns of Shokanth, where Igwil's prize is being held, along with, not only is that here, the Daoud's Wondrous Lanthorn is here, and this book is here too, which gets very little mention. The Demonomicon of Igwilv is there, right? So there you go as far as holding some power. And if you start touching this stuff, you get summoned these things, Zagyas and Zegis. So you think the adventure's over, and then you start touching these things, and you start summoning these energies, and they're super nasty. And if they're both out at the same time, they go to each other and explode, and then you're all dead. So it's Tomb of Horrors is a lair, David, completely. Anyone have Shokanth himself appear in the campaign? Never have. It's a good question though. Yeah, White Plume Mountain, I think someone's going to mention soon, David. I think we're going to get to that one. That's my guess. So, but yeah, so I love this one so much. It's why it's in my. Whoops, I just closed the map. That's why it's in my top 3 of all time. It's just because it's iconic. There's nothing more iconic than going in and seeing that. And I've always said my number one regret of all time is not using Drelsna Beyond the Adventure. So
It's Drelsna's lair.
Yeah.
Right? Or is it formerly Igwil's lair?
I'd say it's Igwil's lair that has been repurposed for
Sokanth's.
Drelsna's lair. Yeah.
Which used to be Sokanth's lair.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
So
it's passed on, I guess. So, in a way.
Absolutely. So really a cool, that would be awesome if Jeff Easley had this as an original. Yeah. So okay. So that is mine. What do you have, Anna?
Okay, it's my turn. Oh,
we'll go to you.
Yeah,
we'll go to you again, and we'll go to Mike.
Yep.
Yeah.
So one that I mentioned it a couple of times, and it's kind of tied into my campaign because it's one of IU's lair, and this is also a little bit of tangential because Villainous Lairs. This is not the top villain, but it's a lair to one of his evil inventions, so to speak. So IU's has many different places you can go and if you need to fight him, so to speak. Not personally, but if you want to get to his power, this is a place you need to go to. And I'm talking about the Soul Husk Caverns up in the Howling Hills. Yeah.
I'm in the Burning Cliffs right
now. Yeah, it was on my list. And it's kind of yeah, Soul Husks is they are not detailed. They are just it only says that it's part of IU's experimentation or something, and it hides secrets that IU's wants to be hidden, so to speak. So I took that starting seed thing.
So it's a place he's not going to go very often.
Yeah.
And he probably doesn't want that many people to know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How to get there.
Yep. So I basically I took that seed in my campaign and made it in the soul husks
Again.
are a way for IUs to basically grab your soul and lock it in the abyss and then keep your corpse up here, your husk, and
That's
then
awesome.
keep tormenting you down there, and then you scream out your agony. So he's basically using that all the grievances that being sent to the abyss as a weapon up here, so to speak. So
Yeah.
on the prime material plane. So that's the soul husk. So the original soul husks he made, and they are kind of, he keeps them and the secret and how it works and so on in the soul husk caverns, and they're full of these kind of really nasty stuff. But it's also a place where he keeps other stuff. So he used the soul husks as a kind of guardians to other stuff. So that's how I have it in my campaign. So if you really want to fight IUs and get to his power, the soul husk caverns is one of the areas you probably should or need to go to in order to do it. And the soul husks are in a way, they are a version of the banshee. In a way, it's an abyssal banshee that acts in kind of similar way. They wail, and you kind of go, you kind of go down, and it basically sucks
And
your
fight
soul.
them.
Yeah. So it sucks your soul. You only need to hear it. And then you're kind of screwed. So it was my campaign. The whole party had a near TPK when they just heard one, and all of them failed their save, and they all went down, and that went really, really quickly.
Great one, Anna.
Yeah.
I would suggest if you're going to go there, you better be 20th level, and you better have some resurrection scrolls.
Oh yes, yeah, and you have to
It's
earwax and stuff like that too. And
it's endgame.
you should.
It's endgame because either you're going to get destroyed or you're going to end up wiping
Oh, yeah.
your
Yep.
So you're going to change your campaign. Yeah.
Yep.
Absolutely.
Yep. So I haven't detailed it in, and there, it isn't detailed. It's only hinted at. It has a couple of paragraphs in the. I use the evil. That's it, so to speak. So the rest. Yep, that's it.
There are some references to it in one dungeon adventure, but I don't think it is anything that's permanent. You know. That,
yeah. And I also, outside, there's one of the biggest skull trees in my campaign planted outside that he uses to guard it, so to speak. And these are also a kind of I use the speciality of an abyssal plant, so to speak, that grows from a skull.
Oh,
that you
really?
plant.
So it's an abyssal.
Yeah. Yeah, so he kind of tweaked it into, made it into it. So they basically putting bone seeds in there, and then they can grow up and become a skull tree, and so it's guarding the soul husk caverns.
I think Bard could negate the whale then.
Yes,
right?
they can definitely help. Yep, they can definitely help in that sense. Yep.
Help.
Just make sure you're high enough level.
That's
yep.
Cool. Awesome one, Anna. All right, Mike, you're up.
Okay. Yeah, after you're done taking out the soul husk, I suppose then you would go to Iu's public lair. And that's the in its capital city, Dorica, the Palace of Ius. The Palace of Ius is detailed in Ius the Evil.
Oh, not City of Skulls?
Well, in City of Skulls is an adventure where you go to the city, and you're trying to rescue. It's a rescue mission. But I don't think you're going to the palace in that.
I don't think
my
so either.
memory's vague because you don't deal with IUs in that module.
Okay.
But if you want the information on the palace, it's in this book, and it's ridiculously powerful. When you talk about going to a big bad evil guy's lair, this embodies it. So it's a huge fortress, like you would imagine, magical defenses. It has wild things like giant skulls that can speak power words spells.
Well, there are no save power word spells.
Well, yeah, it has like these big skull motif, bone motif. These launchers that shoot these bone spears. So this is the hour defenses. Then once you get in like side, it's got these different wings. It's really big. So you got the one wing called the Black Spear Chamber, where he summons. It's his gate to the abyss, and where he summons demons.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's, of course, the throne room. And in the throne room, he has like this big divination pool, and he has his own throne, which I think
Mhm.
his throne does not get enough talk. You know, everyone heard
It's
has
one
heard
of the coolest thrones. We've
yeah,
talked about it once,
Malachite
maybe you
throne
mentioned
is
it,
not as
but
cool as this one.
Yeah,
no,
that's true.
I
Made
use
of the
throne is
bones of all
mhm.
the good priests and paladins.
Yep.
Yeah, I don't know if the throne
Well,
itself does
that's
anything.
kind of a bad picture, but that's
Yeah,
sort of.
I
Yeah.
think we need to ramp it up and make it even cooler, but it's yeah.
right.
Mhm.
Well, actually, in Return of the Eight, there's a picture of him with Igwell behind him, and he's on the
Yeah.
throne,
Mhm.
which is a
Okay.
lot better
Yep.
than this picture. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
And the agony of all those good clerics and paladins and stuff like that is
They just
that needs
keep
to
adding to
be
it.
absolutely awesome to present in an adventure.
And you know, this also hit the palaces where the Legion of Black Death resides.
Mhm.
So it's his elites,
Yep.
soldiers. And God knows how many, of his top level henchmen, Boneheart henchmen are there. So it's like this is one of your ultimate boss fight layers. Can you get through the palace? Well, if you've already taken out the Soul Husk, then Eyes is probably cowering in his throne room, right?
Mhm.
And he's got his onion layer of defenses till you get to the very end.
Walls of pain.
I think it also says that the throne room is behind 3 like valve doors.
Mm-hmm.
It's just like how many layers of defenses do you have to get through before you fight the big final boss and then kill him with a dagger, as Gary would say.
Awesome one. No,
yeah, Eyes.
Definitely an awesome one. All right. I tried to go weird. And I'm going to go real weird.
Mm-hmm.
How weird do you want me to go? You want me to go super weird, everyone? Or you want me to go slightly weird? We'll go super weird.
Super weird.
Just because it's Greyhawk doesn't mean it has to be on this plane.
Uh-oh. Oh.
A spider ship.
Yeah.
Lost spider ship.
Now, mobile layer?
A mobile layer on her plane of the abyss. Yeah, and it is, and there's another picture of it. Metallic, but it's actually made out of souls. All right, the adventure's not that great, but it's a little weird. But the alternate worlds are fantastic. But what a great lair, right? So
yeah.
Lost Spelljammer confirmed. Well, yeah, BB, Isle of the Ape, they're all weird. All those adventures, I agree, are weird. But
take off and go into space.
Yeah, when I thought of this one, I'm like, this is like perfect for this discussion because Loth is. I don't care about. Sorry, Ed. I don't care about Menzo Barons and all that stuff. Loth is just inherently Greyhawk, right? It started out there, and you just have, and it's large. It's a large ship. Whether it's Spelljammer or it goes into ether, I don't know. But I just thought, wow, what a cool one for this discussion. How many out there have done Q1? I've done it once. So.
Nope.
Yes, Baker, but that one will make you go mad. It's so long and so tedious. I agree, but that is a tough adventure to run, man.
A maze? Yes.
Yeah.
A maze. It's
TPK on that one. Yeah, I can see that. But so there you go. So Lost
TPK.
Spider Ship, which you can get to from D3, which may be another one I'm going to talk about shortly. But
see, that's another one. It's like if you should somehow just money haul your way through it, defeat Loth, and do you get her spider ship? Is this something you can
well, no. So if you kill her, that whole plane starts disintegrating.
Ah, okay.
But at the end, she can jump through mirrors. There's a mirror to send her to another plane of existence for her to get away.
So the riders took care of the lair then.
Yeah, absolutely. It's she's got all these crabs and pedipalp and all these sulfugids, whatever the heck they are, on
Yeah,
there.
I never read much of
Yeah,
the lair itself. I was always very more interested in the planes that it's tied to.
yeah. I like the idea, and as I said, the most genius part of this adventure. I mean, this will give you a headache, right? But it was
Nope.
kind of cool, and it's the way it's the dimensions. It doesn't work, right? It's they're on top of each other, but they're not. But the alternate worlds in this were genius. So much so that we've used a couple in the campaign, where people our characters have actually gone to some of these other worlds, in particular two of them, which was really a neat thing to have happen. So, yeah. All right, that's the one for me. It was the Spider Ship of Loth. So, very cool. Yeah, Sarah CD is definitely one. Sarah CD is where the elves are evil, yeah, and the dwarves are subservient to them. And like my guys hate the dwarves because the dwarves are like, we're gonna tell on you, and they're like, what are you dwarves? Like, are you men? What are you doing? Yeah, it's just a couple of really crazy, evil surface elves. Fun, yeah. CRCD
Evil
and the
films.
one with the Dwarven Kingdom in it is the other one too we've used.
Yeah.
Yeah. So and more than one or two adventures going way back. Yeah. All right, Anna.
Well, it's kind of funny. You both took up things that I had on my list for things to change. So I put them in later on my list for Villainous Lairs that I think need to be at least. I want to have them in my campaign, but I want to have them very, very different, so to speak. And that they're kind of technical and kind of in weird ways that I don't like. But they're really Villainous Lairs that deserve some TLC and
Okay.
that you should think about having in your campaign. So, and I use Throne Room and in Doraka and his nest. That's something I've been thinking about
Whoops.
doing my version of for 10 years, but I never, or 20 or 30 years, but I haven't even got there yet. So I'm thinking about the outer defenses.
Okay.
So let's go into, because in order to get to Ius, since it's a demigod, that means that there is like many campaigns of villains to go before you can even get close to him. And one of the stuff, when you had taken the Soul Husk Caverns and probably 20 other layers in, then you can get to one of the last layers. If you want to enter Doraka hostilely, so to speak, you need to take out the city defenses. And the city defenses is one of the stuff that I've added in my my version of IU, so to speak, and it's on the hill west of Doraka, called Gaelic Hill, and there is
somewhere
an
here.
old it's up in those cold those dark weird looking hills and mountains up there west of Doraka. Yeah, when it's the darkest, the darkest spot there, a few miles west of, okay. in the dark there. And these are basically abyssal terrain that has been kind of coming into the prime material plane, because Ius is assembling so much stuff, that so many demons and all sorts of stuff, that becomes these kind of planar confluences that are kind of causing all sorts of trouble. And in there is an old hill that was that actually had a fort that hails back to Great Kingdom days in my campaign, and it's called Gaelic Hill. And that fort, it doesn't look much from a distance, so to speak, but in it is the lair of two of the two guardians of Doraka, so to speak. So if you want to fight and lay siege or do something with the city of Doraka or Ius Villas, you have to take them on. And those are a pair of abyssal dragons that have their lair in Gaelic Hill, west of Doraka. And I've named them. I'm not going to tell the names here, but I've named them in my campaign, and they're two sisters, and two dragons that are both rivals, but they kind of have twisted their minds in, and they have kind of gone into a sort of allegiance with Ius. They think that they are running the show, and they are kind of so basically what they're doing is that they look at all the treasure in Doraka and they think that, okay, we are going to have it. So they have some sort of pact with Ayus, and no one knows who is actually on top of it. And these are two abyssal dragons, and they're really, really nasty, and they're
Nice.
kind of part of the stuff, so to speak. So they are, and in some ways they're layering there just so because there's a lot of juicy things coming towards Doraka that they can deal with, and they love to put their into a lot of stuff. And they also are a way for Ayus, because one of the things he fears a lot are good dragons that will come and raid, and he promised that these two dragons that there will be good dragons coming so they can hunt them, because that's one of their favorite thing to do, is to hunt good dragons. And Katarina and her ilk, so to speak, they have now gearing up for 200 years almost. They're gearing up for a fight with them, and they're circling each other, and they're starting to be aware of each other. So there are dragon fights to be had, so to speak. They have had some skirmishes, but not a big one yet. So they're getting a feel for, and so that's the only thing they kind of have respect for are each other's, and they will not go out in a complete fight yet, so to speak. So they're trying to build strength and kind of outmaneuver each other, both
Awesome.
literally and figuratively. So and that part of the world is now kind of trembling for them to really unleash, and eventually they probably will.
Very cool.
So that's part of my kind of Ayu's build up, so to speak, or a pair of abyssal
I don't know
dragons.
anything about abyssal dragons. Would they be? Are they freewheeling, or are they subservient to Tiamat somehow?
They are probably way more freewheeling than subservient in a lot of ways. And they were detailed, I think, in second edition AD&D. There were abyssal dragons. I think they were mentioned in a dragon magazine, and they were probably had one of these little cards too. And they have a very kind of chaotic breath weapon stuff, and they also snake-like. They're long, and no one really knows how big they are.
They're almost like worms.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, now
yes.
I said that Tiamat is in the Nine Hills. So
yep. And so they also tie into the worm kind of myth and stuff there too. So no one knows exactly where it ends, so to speak, and they're hard to figure out what they actually looks like, because you never see them in daylight, so to speak. They are kind of immune to they suffer from light. That means that they are making sure that they don't venture out unless they are in the safe environment, meaning dark and very.
What's their breath weapon? Do they have
their breath weapon
weapon?
varies. It varies from it's a combination of it, so you don't know what's coming, so to speak. Yeah, so it can be a combination of various different things, because they are the chaos of the abyss, so to speak. So it can be poison, it can be
defend up against that.
Yeah. So it's exactly it's very varied, and it's usually a combination of two that varies from time to effort, so to speak.
That's excellent.
Well, dragons is definitely something that comes to mind when you say the word lair.
Yeah. I have several dragon layers on my list here, so to speak.
Are we going up here, Mike?
I can imagine.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Oh, I thought you were
are we?
Oh, I thought you were doing a dragon. I thought that's where we were.
No,
Yeah.
I'm just
okay.
It's just commentary.
Okay.
Yeah. I have another one. If we
go for it,
that is not a dragon. So I have a couple of other dragons, but I have one that is a lord of a castle, and he's actually been running his castle for over 600 years, and it's also in the same region, because I took all of the Villainous Lairs I have in my current campaign.
Okay.
And one of them is up in Horn Society, up in the Western Fell Reefs. There is a castle Dalvier.
Yeah, right here.
And it's an interesting one. It doesn't have much detail more than it's a lich, and he's feared by everybody. So I kind of fleshed him out a little bit. So we have
cool.
So we have hang on a second here. I need to have him. So it's Count Dalvier. He was he hang on a second. I need to have him detail. Yeah. There we go. So Count Dalvier, he's an priest of Nerul, and he was ancient Flan, and back in the day, a little bit over 600 years ago, when the first Iridian settlers started to come into the area, he was the one that led the defense against them, or the attacks on them, so to speak. So in my campaign, so he was very prominent in the defense, and he wasn't particularly evil back then, so to speak. He became evil because I have it that Nero was actually a Flan war god before he became a god of death and so on. That was the struggle with Erdi and stuff that kind of turned it way more evil over time. And he wanted to continue the fight after death, so he became a lich and continue the fight. And there's also old stories and stuff that Dalvier was involved in, that the characters can now see through visions and stuff that he was involved in. So he's kind of one of their villains against them that they're not aware of yet. They have seen several of the visions. They don't know it's Dalvier. They don't know that he is a lich today. And he is also he was one of the one that was part of the Horn Society, and he's not on Ayu's side. He was originally, but now he thinks that Ayus is a traitor of the Flan cause, and so he's a great hatred of him. And that means that now the characters and him are kind of on the same side, but he's thoroughly evil now. He's been so corrupt over the hundreds of years that he will not do a good deed if he would never do a good deed, period, so to speak. And he always wants to he's not a vampire, but he wants a fresh kill as often as he can get it, so to speak, and torture things and stuff that brings his spirits up. So he he really needs it. So he will go out and grab, and that means that Ayus and the humanoids, whatever, they keep well clear of his domain, so to speak. And he has a bunch of other undeads that are kind of almost Death Knight like. So he has kept he basically turned his all his guards and stuff, turned them undead, and they kind of added to the repertoire over 600 years. So he's kind of, and he led the a lot. He was involved in a lot of things. He was out seeking the dormant Lyric in the Vestvi forest. That's part of the published lore, so to speak, a long time ago, and now he's basically keeping he maintains his castle and makes sure that he doesn't do any good deeds if he can help it. So and he's kind of he's an interesting character, so to speak. He can kind of help the characters, but
he's the
their
Saruman of your game.
Yeah, exactly. Yes. Yep, very much so. He's one of these evil bastards that could be on your side, but you can never get anything good out of him. So, but sometimes killing your enemies, he can be very helpful in that department. So yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah. So I haven't detailed his castle yet, but there are some cool stuff, and I like the few little tidbits. It's one of these that I think the Greyhawk campaign is full of these things that is just hinted at, a few paragraphs, and then you build on it and you add the stories and stuff. So yeah.
Awesome. Mike, you're up.
Go
for it.
So one of the better books I found for Lairs is surprisingly Rary the Traitor.
Yeah, it's a good one.
Oh
yeah.
There are multiple really good villain layers in this module.
Let me see if I can bring that up. That one I didn't have prepped. Boom. All right. Oh, what page?
Well, let's talk about the only one that I've probably actually used. That's Dagger Rock. So Dagger Rock in the Bright Desert is the lair of the Blue Dragon Volt. And I don't know if this one was on Anna's list or not. But I found that this dragon was really interesting because Rary is when he moves into the Bright Desert, according to the book, he's obviously don't want to kill this dragon. He's trying to make a deal with the dragon. He's trying
Right.
to say, hey, if I do something for you, where you help me out, and of course the dragon's taking sweet time, thinking about it. But the Volt does have motivations and enemies, and in Dagger Rock, it's just what it sounds like. It's just this out in the middle of the desert. I imagine it would be hard to miss. It's just one of these remote areas that I guess if you get up on it, there's no way of sneaking up on it. That's what I'm saying. And also, it's actually in the Greyhawk, The Adventure Begins map booklet, Dagger Rock. And so I always liked that there was a map you could reference for that. Now, when I use this layer in my own campaign, what I did differently was I thought, and this is the anecdote, is at the time I was taking electronics classes, so I was learning all about circuitry, right? Circuit boards and things, and so I thought, oh, Blue Dragon, lightning breath, electricity. Dragon hordes have coins; they have copper coins. So I'm like, hey, I'll have Volt use all the copper coins because no one keeps copper, after a while. So Volt turns the copper into a trap, so that if you're standing in certain rooms or hallways, and the breath weapon, it's lightning breath weapons usually just online. Well, if the breath weapon hits any of the traces, then it like chains out, I guess you could say. So that was my wild idea for Volt, was that it was a copper trap. Otherwise, yeah, I don't think there's any other reference to Volt except in Rary the Trader.
So you just put something into my mind here, Mike. I'm reading this. It says the Equalizer Grand March is here.
Oh,
and
yeah.
Riker Damaris has that weapon in Expeditions to Ruins of Greyhawk, which means someone had to go into this lair and get it.
Either he went in there and got it, or he went in there and lost it.
Well, no, because that's after this.
Oh, well.
So his Robilar's hanging out in his inn.
Okay.
So Robilar probably got it.
Oh, I see.
And they're friends. Yeah.
It's a okay. So maybe Volt gifted it as a sign of good faith.
Yeah.
Rary probably stole it.
It's pretty cool though, Mike. I mean,
because it said that Rary was so afraid of Volt that he would appear to Volt as an illusion. He wouldn't go in person.
Yeah, he probably did a projected image.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't a 1,000-year-old dragon I wouldn't mess with. Holy jeez.
And that's not Volt's original lair. Volt comes from out west, and as the story goes, was chased away by a Greyhawk dragon. And Volt's motivation, I mentioned, is he wants to get back at this great dragon, which I would think would be easy for Rary, the trader, right? To hunt down a measly Greyhawk dragon.
So Dark Elf, one of our first 50 Legends of Lords has to be Dragon Lairs.
Yes.
Right? We did one with every named dragon we could see everywhere on that map, man. Yeah. Hey,
there are a lot of lairs.
Lots of lairs, yeah. But Robilar before after his hookup with Zugtamoy, I know it was Rob Kuhn. So here's the thing. Rob Kuhn, none of this happens with Rob Kuhn. He doesn't go out he doesn't go out there. He would never do that. So we heard all this stuff. So I never had a stone horse. He's like, who gave him a stone? But Dagger Rock is a cool. There's a lot of great places. Right, a Trader. The second edition has some great adventure modules that are settings, right?
Yeah, most of the stuff I have out is second edition right now.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, let's get weird. I don't know if it's going to be weird. All right. You're going to go, why is this weird?
Oh, good, you're not going in that direction I wanted to go. So,
So Orlane's over here, but it really isn't.
good. Yeah.
Orlane's here in my game, named Lorraine. So let's do that. There
But
we
it's a
go.
villainous lair. Every TSR Wizard of the Coast kind of yeah.
The lair of Explitica Defilis,
Uh-oh.
Cult of the Reptile God.
Yeah.
What a great adventure. One of the ones I've recently run within the last 2 years. And here's like part of her lair in the adventure. Okay. And I think to myself, and if you all watch Sunday night, you know that I had this discussion with an Inked Mage, Damasucci, and the toughest thing for both of us to do is run these old school dungeon crawls, because I can't make that in any and put that on my table in anything. It's just impossible. But I do have what I made. So let's take a look in the final encounter there. All right, there we go. So got close.
Yeah.
You know,
pretty
got
good.
close with water and
Yeah.
stuff. But yeah, so it was a fun adventure, low level. You know, doing it in the the Narwhal Headhunters. Yeah, thank you. And it works. It worked for our adventure, and I liked it. I'm glad I moved it into an area that could utilize it in a campaign that's ongoing. Thank you. Thank you so very much. And it's a lot of people ask on this adventure on this one. Well, it's an introductory module. Don't run it for the first time as a DM. If you're going to run a Greyhawk adventure, don't run N1. It is tough. It's tough to run. Run Saltmarsh, run even Bowen Hill, run Hamlet. Don't run this one until it, because of all the taking over people. Hey, great. But I think Josh said you needed to talk to me about Dark Tower. Let me know. All right, so that's it against Cult of the Reptile God. A cool one.
It's the one I've never ran.
I like it a lot, especially since I remember I kidnapped Tim's barbarian because he was trying to get the pig on his own and put him in the end. It was awesome.
Mhm.
So it was a fun one. I had a blast with it. So and replaced here. So there you go. That's for me. Go ahead, Anna.
Well, there's one I just have to bring up from that is I think the most iconic adventure ever made for D&D, and it is a lair, and it's a lair of a lich, a really old one that
Going
is
down here.
tied to Greyhawk. Exactly. Not go even further.
Yeah.
East. Yeah, the next big swampy there. Yeah. There you go. Yeah. The Tomb of Horrors.
Yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely.
And that I think is a lair that is infamous, and it's kind of interesting because it's more the traps and all the things getting to the villain than the villain that is the thing, so to speak.
The
So,
lair proper is probably just a few rooms, right?
yeah.
And then it's just
Mhm.
surrounded by a bunch of
Yeah,
traps.
Yeah, exactly. And it's an interesting take on the lair, where the lair becomes more interesting than the boss monster,
True.
which is kind of cool. But
Yeah.
I needed to
There you
bring it up because someone placed it in Greyhawk down in the vast swamp, and that means that Acererak becomes a villain in the Greyhawk campaign, which is awesome because that brings up old stories and you can kind of spin on it. But I needed to bring it up because it is in many sense the most iconic adventure of D&D. Not the best, but the most iconic. And when it comes to a lair, yes, when the physical structure and all its contraptions
Would you say
becomes
it's
the main thing.
famous or infamous?
I think it's infamous more than anything. Yeah, that's probably the better word.
Well,
Yeah. Mhm.
what's really great about this, sorry, spoilers, there's a false lair,
Yeah.
final lair.
Mhm.
And you're like, oh, that's it?
Oh.
Yeah.
That's how Egyptian, I think.
Mhm.
Yeah,
It's like a good
exactly.
horror movie. They have to kill the villain and get to the lair, and then he comes back.
And you're like, this is it?
yeah. Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very difficult. This is meant to, as we've heard from a lot of our guests who knew Gary, this was meant to kill characters.
Yeah, I think that the whole idea was to get rid of
Attrition
everyone.
war.
Yeah. Mhm.
You know, on this. And
Yeah.
Catano, who's not on, Catano, this is his bread and butter. he has a whole Fast Swamp campaign based around the Tomb of Horrors.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So he'd be the expert for this
Yeah.
one.
But-
for that.
But I think the cool thing is that they tied it into Greyhawk, and that means that Acererak is now part of Greyhawk
always.
lore, and we can kind of use him and use it for to tie into our stories and stuff. And that part I really love.
If you're gonna kill everyone's characters, at least there's a nice booklet of illustrations that go along with it that shows everything.
You can show
that
this is the
taking.
last thing your character will see.
Not
Is
every
this
module does that.
I thought it was genius when this came out and TomoaCon. I was like, oh, this is genius having these pictures in there. So yeah, the art is absolutely wonderful.
Yeah.
Oh, Scottish Jeff is flexing.
Oh, really?
But,
he ran. Oh, okay. Wow.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
But it's I think this is a good example where the lair becomes more important than the villain in it, so to speak.
Oh, that's
in
true.
some ways. Yeah.
No, that's true. 100%.
No?
Yeah. It's there's our favorite. Don't put your hand in there.
Yeah, it's one of the most iconic images of D&D is that demon face with the mouth open, so you can put your hand in there and get disintegrated.
In a meta storyline sense, is the Tomb of Horrors like the example that other than liches and lair creators go by? They're
Yes.
Like,
I think so.
That one
yeah,
tells everything. I want a place like that.
Oh yeah, I think I think it's set a standard for what a lich lair should be, and I don't want when I'm going to detail Castle Dalvier, I'm not going to do it the way the Tomb of Horrors is, so to speak. It will be very different, but it's still a lich lair, so to speak. But I want a different vibe. In some ways, sorry.
No, I was just saying, Curtis has a question. So
yeah.
It's like dragons hoard treasure, liches like death traps, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, Vamoku stopped! Oh, I got out of order. Oh. Pain. All right, Mike, I'm going to go out of order because of Michael Vamoku. Look what I have. Oh, all right. This is D1. It's just a room on the side.
7.
Yep.
Yes. Okay. That's all right, Mike. It's just a room on the side. But it has in it one of the nastiest liches lying there, Asperides, right? So this was my sleeper one. is D1? You got all these stupid gargoyles and bugbears and trolls. But you have a lich in a room if you go with 200 magic mouths or something stupid.
But Jay, this is the opposite of Tomb of Horrors. The lair itself is insignificant. It's just one room, and the villain is the thing, so to speak. So it's the opposite from Tomb of Horrors that is very elaborate and.
But you say it does have defenses?
No, it has 200 magic mouths. He's just lying there.
Literally, what's the 200 magic mouths?
They just start babbling when you come in.
Okay, so it doesn't actually defend him.
No, it's just because he's kind of crazy, sort of, So I didn't. Yeah, I had that one as a sidebar, and then I had lying there.
As Birdie.
Yeah, he's just gonna kick your ass. That's all. So you don't want to mess with him. But yeah, that was one of my favorites there. So sorry for going out of order there, but Michael Vamoku brought it up, and I had to do it. I didn't want to go back to it, because I had it ready.
Good job.
Yeah,
good job, guys.
Good one picking that one up. He has some sweet loot. Absolutely, he does, Mike Celestian.
Just laying around.
He has some sweet. Yeah, he's lying around with his loot. I guess I don't know. It doesn't ever say. Did Gary Julian do a story on how he got there? I think he did. Didn't Gary do a story about that?
I don't know.
I'm almost positive he did. It's in Cannon Fire. How he got there, because that's like a Judges Guild one. I'm gonna throw a lich right here. So,
Sam says he did.
Thanks, Sam, if you could.
All right.
Sam, if you could link that in chat, that'd be cool. If you can find it and link it in chat, I would really appreciate it, so everyone can take a look at it. So, knowing that there is some more lore on him. Yeah. Oh, okay. He didn't do full story of the trial. Okay, I thought he did. Moose says, I think Gary talked about it here a couple of years ago. He did. I think the vampire succubus is more interesting than encountering the lich. Well, that's a set encounter between D2 and D3, right, Mike? And Vault of the Drow, which is another cool villain.
I'm not up on my D.
Yeah,
lore.
yeah. Let me see here. Sorry for going off on a tangent. Is it here? Yep, this one. Yeah, no problem. It's all right. So yeah, there's you got just a hanging. You have these two hanging out. These two lovers, a male drow vampire named Belgos, and his succubus lover. What a dynamic duo that is. Yeah, it's a side. It's a side. Here it is. It's right here. It's a side trek in D before you get to D3 in the caverns. Yeah, I think it's on the map too. It's on a tertiary path. So you take that tertiary road, you're going to come into this. Yeah. So, like I said, this is D3 is one of my favorites. So, good one. All right, Mike, we went out of order there. What do you got?
So to finish my thought on Rary the Trader.
Okay.
There are, and without going into great detail, it has the Mines of Father Eye. So you have a Beholder Lair, who's served by Durgar. That's in the Aberral's Hills. You have Rary's tower itself, the lair of Rary in the Brass Hills, which he had magically transported from Ket to, the Bright Desert, with all its fantastic, defenses and things, automatons and whatnot, and Robolars. And then there's like every ruin in the Bright Desert is the lair of some big boss creature.
Yeah.
Be it Shadowdos's ruins of his palace, or undead and other nasty things. So yeah, Rary the Trader, not the best book, but lore wise, you can make so much out of it. It's unreal. It has good history and it has good layers, monster layers.
So a lot of the second edition adventures are not adventures; they're campaign settings.
Yeah.
Eye is the Evil, Mark Lands, this, Slavers, Scarlet Brotherhood, that's what they all are, right? And that's why they're so good.
Yeah. There is maps to like the Mines of Father Eye and Shadowdos's ruins, but I don't think the map marks exactly where they're at. I think it's left to the DM to place them.
Yeah.
Which is interesting. Yeah, you're right. They are campaign kind of accessories, not full-length adventures.
Yeah, it's Jeff. Ravenloft is not placed in Greyhawk. It wasn't in Demi-Plane yet. I have it in Greyhawk, but
I mean, the castle's the lair of Strahd. Yeah, but not on my list.
But Rare Chairs are going, no, it's all right, Jeff. Don't worry about it. I mean, like I said, I love it. I have that. Both Ravenloft 2 I ran in my Greyhawk. So, good one, Mike. All right, Anna, what we got?
Okay, it's time to push the boundaries on what could be a lair again, so to speak. If we had one room with a villain in it, a lair, can we do it the other way around and say, what about a whole city? Can that be considered a lair?
Yeah,
and yeah, if it's kind of
City.
Iconic and stuff. Yeah, exactly. You could exactly Lost City. I have one that and one of my favorite places in the Flannies is the Howling Hills. The Howling Hills, I have like 4 different things I think in the Howling Hills, and one of them is Ursungard, the home of the Ursun orcs, and one of the most feared tribes in the Ursun in up in the Howling Hills. That's where, and they kind of guard the northern flank of the Iusian Empire, and their city up there, and it's it's up in. I added the city. It's the Ursuns are mentioned, and I think maybe even it's mentioned as a small little village or place, the name, but I made a city out of it. So it's an orcish city, and it's Ursungard up there, and so
where is it, Anna? Near Golford?
It's the northern end of the Howling Hills. It guards the northern entry into. So it's up on the northern end.
Here it is, Ursungard.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yep.
Ursungard.
There you go.
Yep. so it's one of these places up there. So in that sense, it is like a villainous lair, but it's full of villains, lots of them, thousands of them.
Yeah.
So
I use
it
the
yeah.
Evils, another one of them books. Yeah,
Mhm.
every page has some new villain
Yep.
hangout.
Yep, and some of the coolest ones in that book are up in the Howling Hills. There are a bunch of them. So the Soul Husk was my first one. The
Soul
Ursun
Husk.
Guard is the second one, and I have more on my list. But this I wanted to emphasize that a whole city can be. It's like like in
The
Tolkien and stuff. You
purpose
could
of the city is kind of villainous thing. Like, yeah, I guess if you're doing a military campaign, which I've done a lot of,
yeah.
then yeah, some of them places up in the Howling Hills and whatever, if you have to siege that place, it's the lair of some
Yeah.
bad guys. Yeah.
Yep.
Well, it's cool that, and that just brings. Let's go to it. I don't know if any of you have it, but for Gary, that would take us right over to here, right, to Spine Castle, right, same type, right. Oh, you know what? You guys can't see it because I'm not on the screen. Duh! Why don't you guys tell me? Yeah. So yeah, Spine Castle.
Yeah. That's
Another
a
one.
similar thing. Yeah.
I mean, huge. So,
Yep.
so the guards under city officials would have special powers while in the confines. Well, that's subjective as to the powers that do they emanate from the walls? Do they emanate? A lot of that. So,
I try to find layers that have special defensive benefits. Not always going to happen.
Yep.
The farther you stretch the definition of layers, now it's more like safety in numbers. That's what Anna's got.
Yeah, I have the Ursun, the shield Ursun that I took from Adventure Begins. In the title image of the Adventure Begins has an orc-like humanoid kind of figure that has a shield with a kind of a skull biting a bone, and that I took that and made that shield. It's now on the latest edition of the map, and I made it the Ursun shield, and it is like a humanoid skull biting a bone, and it has a kind of a red band with a little kind of thing in the front. And the story that I made into it is that these bands are they take a piece of band, they put some magic on it, they heat it up, and then they simply squeeze it onto your skull. So then it tightens as it cools, and it burns you, and that makes you, if you survive the process, you are immune to fear, and you get some real high morale, and you become so the orcs, that's the entry into, if you want to become an Ursun, a useful warrior and a full member of the tribe, then you have to survive that ritual, so to speak. And then what they do is that they take the bone of one that failed it, and you put it in your mouth, so you wouldn't shout and scream too much and bite your tongue when they do it. So
Anna, have you been hanging out with Tim in a 4-foot by 4-foot bamboo cage?
No, I haven't. But it's one of my my ideas.
Oh my god!
For the for that's the Ursun Guard. So they it's not for weaklings, so to speak.
I'll
say,
holy jeez.
Yeah, they're not that many Ursun Guard orc warriors, true warriors, so to speak. But the ones that are fearsome. So they are basically barbarians, and they have no fear whatsoever, and they love fresh enemies to kill, so to speak. So they,
okay.
And there's a couple of questions on the chat that I need to answer.
Okay.
Famous layers near the Korsk Barbarian region? Not that I'm aware of.
Okay. Maybe not the Korsk.
Yeah.
Korsk is a very big place with not a lot written on it, but there is in the Griffs next door. What I have on my list, and this is following along with what Anna just did with her Howling Hills, is the so there you have the Orc City Geralt Inkdal in the Griff Mountains.
Yeah.
25,000 orcs. Now, I'm not saying the Orc City's a lair, but it's hard enough to get in as is.
Yep.
The lair, in actuality, is the Temple of Grumsh. in the adventure 5 shall be won.
Right.
Your players are trying to sneak into an orc city. They're not trying to kill 25,000 orcs. They're trying to sneak into the Temple of Grumsh undetected. And then within that temple, you have to deal with the chieftain of the city, his wife, the high priest of Grumsh. In the throne room has like statue of Grumsh that shoots laser beam eyes. There's all kinds of stuff going on, and you're trying to get one of the 5 blades of Chorus out of here. So that's a huge, major boss fight adventure, fairly close to the Chorus Mountains. But I'd say it's the best of that storyline of acquiring the 5 blades. That's my favorite part.
Yeah, the adventures were kind of disjointed within it, but the story was good. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Okay. Maybe you are trying to get 25,000 orders. Yeah. If you have enough time, you
can be ambitious. Yep.
That's a good one too, Mike.
Now, in my own campaigns, to answer that question, yeah, I've probably have created a lot of homebrew villain layers in the Chorus Mountains over time. Nothing I have rid up currently, but stuff that could appear on my blog, Greyhawkery, someday if I felt inclined. So layers in the Chorus Mountains. Check. I'll remember that.
Yeah.
David, you're free to link that in chat, man. For your site, I have no problem with you doing that. All right, we're gonna go out there again. How's that sound? I don't think I put it up. I didn't. What's wrong with me today? I thought I had. All right, so we're done with Ready Chair. I can close that. We're done with Showcanth. Done. All right, I'll leave that up just so it hides the other ones. So what is better than a lair that doesn't exist on Earth, right? Do we know what I'm talking about?
No.
Okay. I got to find it first, and I don't know if I'm going to. So, Mike, you can go, please.
So someone else mentioned about Mar Castle being the lair of Eli Tomaras. Well, Eli Tomaras would like to think so. That's his place. It's the lair of the Mar family, really. And Tomaras might tool around in the first few levels of it. No, the actual lair within Mar Castle that I would find interesting, at least to talk about on a smaller scale, is Kurzet's Fane. The 3rd level of the module is called Kurzet's Fane.
Yeah.
And within an even smaller subset of that, which is the backdrop of this Wayne Reynolds art, the thing in the background and the fire and everything. What you don't see from the viewer's perspective is you're sitting in pews of a shrine where the cult of Kurzet, the demon Kurzet, is. That is Kurzet's little chapel that Eli's standing in. And the whole story here is that Kurzet controls the demon. Right? No. Tomaras controls the demon Kurzet with the Tome of Blackheart. And to keep the demon happy, he has to sacrifice cultists to it occasionally. So he's propped up this cult to this demon, and they just, eventually, are fed to the demon or hapless adventurers who come upon it. Kurzet's actual lair is adjacent to the chapel, and it's the just a series of caves or whatever, and he's bound to the cave. And now the big spoiler here is that the players can somehow get past Tomaras and all that stuff, and then find this Tome of the Black Heart that controls the demon and take it out of Mar Castle. Kurzet will follow them to the ends of the earth to get this tome. That's the whole, I guess, end game for this thing. Is Tomaras summoned Kurzet there, but until that book is either destroyed or he reacquires it, Kurzet will come for you. So there you go. That's what I would call a layer within a layer.
No, it's good.
Yeah.
I was looking for my El Rasha Keeb thing somewhere, but I don't know. It's in this pile here somewhere, so I smashed. All right. Definitely. Mar Castle's so legendary. You know,
Yeah,
there are
and then
many
there's
layers.
additional levels,
Yeah.
and each level
Yeah.
that they kept adding onto it,
Yeah.
Rob Kuntz and them, it's probably the layer of another evil family, family member of the Mar family. So in essence, Mar Castle is a series of layers, interconnected.
Awesome.
Mhm.
All right, here's mine. As you enter the Black Gate, you experience a wrenching sense of disorientation and nausea. You stumble out of the gate into a pitch black room. The air smells of mold, rot, rich earth, and strange forest scents. A stone staircase leads up from the corner of the room to a dim, rainy, thundering world above. It's gray, rainy, and dim. The sky is gloomy and dark. There's a dense forest. Many of the trees are familiar: bronzewood, cedar, live oak, but others are completely foreign and even unrecognized. The recognizable trees are different, more flexible, and taller. Because you're not on Earth. You're on Luna.
Oh, yes.
In Return of the Eight. Dun, dun,
Dun,
dun.
dun, dun.
The final lair encounter of Tuerny the Merciless. In this very long Roger Moore adventure. And it gets even better because you get spoiler alert, everyone, sorry. You get a sex change Jalarzi evil named Jay slapping around a closet with a symbol of Tensor on it. There you
Oh,
go.
dear.
It gets even better at the end of this one.
Ahead of its time.
Ahead of its
Yep.
time.
Yep.
Yes, so there you go.
We can't complain times like this.
Yes.
We deserve a monster like that. Yeah.
So a
See,
great
I
go ahead.
I give an A for effort on putting a layer on the moon.
Yeah.
But this is another one that
Yeah.
when I ran it, I TPK'd. It's the only Greyhawk adventure I ever TPK'd my players on.
Wow.
Yeah.
On the moon?
On the moon.
So that no one's ever raising them because they're never finding their bodies.
And all that.
Oh my.
TPK'd them. So they never found it. Because what if they win? Then now my players have access to the moon.
Yeah. So you had to TPK them.
We're
Yeah.
not playing Spelljammer here.
Yeah. Well,
Not yet.
It's one
Sorry,
of those.
Big Mac.
It's one. Hey, it's one of those. Roger Moore went above and beyond on this.
Luna.
It's Luna. Yeah.
One is like
Luna.
a barren moon, and the
It's
other one's
Luna.
a forested moon, right?
Yeah, it's Luna.
Yeah.
Luna and what do you call it in Star Wars? Interchangeable. Endor. There's no Ewoks here. Just kidding. So, but just you wanted a lair. There you go. It's on.
Well,
it's not on it. Yeah.
The whole adventure is kind of fascinating because you go from Tensor's lair.
You go from
You're adventuring
Jalarzi's
in
lair
his castle. Actually, you go from
Tensor's
Jalarzi's lair
lair
to Tensor's to the moon.
to the moon,
Yeah.
to one of the
Yeah.
moons.
Talk about
Yeah.
one upping itself. Yeah.
Yeah. Moon raker.
stuff.
Yes.
Yeah.
Or all right, Curtis. I shouldn't say this. What was the spoof name of that movie in Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back? Let's see if he gets it. All right. So as we're going on here, there you go. I just thought I'd bring up another one. I did one on the Abyss, and now I've done one on a moon. So, yep. They're busting Ben Affleck's stones, so it's like Ben Affleck takes over the world in Moonraper. There you go. That was the name of the thing, and yeah. So not politically correct, yes. Roger Moore's in Moonraker, but that one was a Ben Affleck joke. So there you go. Yeah, definitely not politically correct, but what the heck said Moonraper? All right, so Anna, you're up.
Okay, let's go back to the Howling Hills, and we need to have a dragon again because we had so many liches and other things. And there is one dragon that is it's mentioned. It's not named in I Use the Evil, but it's mentioned in a little place called Drenghus.
It's right here.
Yeah, up in the Howling Hills.
I gotta show you.
Eastern Howling Hills. Yep, there is a set of caverns. It's an old mine or something. I don't know or maybe a natural cave. It's a deep, deep cave, and there is a shadow dragon that is rumored to live there. And I named that Shadow Dragon Rishnal in my game because there was I rolled when we returned to the Temple of Elemental Evil a long time ago, the second time we were there, and then I rolled a random encounter table, and I rolled like in 99 or something, and a Shadow Dragon came up, and I named her Rishnal, and the characters managed somehow to charm it. They rolled really high, and she failed her save miserably. So they charmed it, and they made it leave, so to speak. And or they don't they kind of made it like, oh, they gave the dragon some treasure and stuff, and she was kind of okay, and let them go. And that was the only encounter I have original. But I kind of like the idea of the Shadow Dragon, and it lived in the Temple of Elemental Evil, meaning Zuktmoy's temple. And so I was like, maybe Zuktmoy needs a spy in Ayu's backyard, someone that can keep an eye out, even what what her lover is doing, so to speak, just in case. Then Zuktmoy wants to hedge her bets and keep an eye on Ayu's, and so she sent one of her kind of pets, so to speak, that lived in Temple of Elemental Evil, the Shadow Dragon Rishnal, and
Shadow
Rishnal,
dragons are my favorite type of dragon.
yeah, they're
so
really
many of
really
them in
cool.
Greyhawk.
Yep.
I love.
Yep, they're really cool. And so she secretly moved into Drenghus, and the thing is that the two abyssal kind of dragon atrocities that lives in near Doraka, they don't know that Rishnal moved into their backyard, so to speak. So she's up there, and they kind of, they're out when the weather is the same, so to speak, when the environment is the same. So at night they can come out. But Rishnal is a master of stealth. She's so damn good that she can kind of hide. And also the main reason she can hide so well is that everything is evil up here. And that means that she becomes practically invisible. If you detect evil, whether you're good or evil, and you detect evil, she just blends in. So she becomes effectively invisible in that sense. So she's really good at hiding. She's not the most powerful creature when it comes to kill things and stuff, but she is very snoopy, very kind of interested in things, and she's kind of sneaking around, and she hides out in Drenghus. And I think it's only described as deep hole, so to speak, with stuff. So if you want to have like a creepy cave, I think the Drenghus can really fit that bill. So I'm probably going to depict it as a natural cave up in the Howling Hills, cool, with a whole bunch of stuff that can be interesting, so to speak. And since she lives there, there's probably a lot of shadowy creatures, some abyssal stuff, and some other stuff up there too. So
excellent.
Mm-hmm.
Another good one.
Exactly, and the
pack
story
so
is don't
much
sleep
into
with
a small, oh yeah.
Oh
Howling
yeah,
Hills is
the Howling
good.
Hills.
System.
Yeah, I have everything.
Dense.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
That's good.
Yep.
All right, Mike, what do you got?
Man, yeah. Which way to go here? I'm going to bring this up before I forget. I don't know if it's on Jay's list, but if it's not, it should be. The City of Greyhawk box set is probably the ultimate layer reference. Now, I'm not talking about the city itself, although like the Under City might have some cool cults and whatnot hiding around. But the adventure cards, each adventure card is a layer, and it even says on the back layer. So there are just several good. I can't even really pick one to talk about. One of them's about a shadow dragon, though. But there are just several really good layers in there. And so if you just want a quickie adventure, cut to the chase and get to the villain's lair, get that City Grog box set.
Absolutely.
Weak XP. Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, it's fantastic. It's
I mean, you could do. I know, like on Gavin, you guys go through each of the dungeon magazines. You guys need to go through each one of them cards.
Yeah.
Well, yeah,
sometime.
it's a good idea. Like Mayhem at World's End. There's a whole
Because
dancing,
every one of them is interesting and could be expanded upon.
and they got funny names. Bath Time for the Hopping Prophet.
There are.
You know,
I do like
just there's some
yeah.
really. You know, I agree 100%, Mike.
One of the
Yeah.
layers is a ghost ship or a sunken ghost
Which
ship.
I
or something like that.
showed last week. Remember?
Yes,
I
yes,
showed that
that's
during
the
as the
my memory.
encounter card
Oh.
with Troy. Yeah,
Oh,
absolutely.
cool. Now I
Oh,
need
yeah.
to watch
Obligatory
that even
underwater
more.
reference.
Yep.
Yeah. So here, I'll bring that one up real quick here because I'm right here, and we'll go to Legends and Lore from last week because I never throw anything out. Here it is. There's the ghost ship. So, yeah. A cool introductory water-based adventure, only with a ghost. So that, giving it 7th level, but something cool. We can always make modifications to it. But exploring a wreck that's beneath the water, great one.
One of them is to slay a hierarch.
Yes,
It's a
Mhm.
2-page adventure on killing, one of the hierarchs of the Horn Society. Good lord.
Yep, absolutely.
It doesn't get more
And some
villainous
lower
than
level
that.
stuff too. There's a real good one with oh my god, the wraiths. Mike, my brain just froze.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Wraiths.
brains do.
I don't remember that one.
Our great undead, not the drowned ones. Oh my god, they're in Greyhawk Adventures.
The sword race.
Sword Race, yeah, Sword Race.
Race.
Sword Race of the Cron Hills, I think it's called.
Mhm.
Yeah, so there's a lot of great adventures. All right, good. I am going to go now to what can you make into a layer yourself? Well, if you have 3D printing, and you want to go to the free city of Altamira, we have all sorts of buildings, and I did this one. It was called Rumble in the Warehouse. There we go, and those are 2 floors. So let's just make a warehouse that has a bunch of boxes in it and a bunch of other equipment, and just throw it. Look, there's even a slot, and no, it's a Type 2 demon being summoned. Yeah, so there you go. So have some fun, and beastmen, all sorts of crazy stuff. Have fun with ideas that you can make any place at all, and not just to blow up on each floor. So I'll take anything I can and turn it into a combat area. Yep. Star kills. Yeah. So there you go. There's a Type 1 and a Type 2 in that fight. Yeah, some boxes and stuff. So there you go. A simple one using 3D printing that we did I guess it's been about a year for that one. So I think I'm done through all my published source one. Now I got one more published source one. I'll save that for next round. So
Yeah.
yep. Go ahead, Anna.
Uncle Fuss has a good question on blood crystal, and I haven't looked into it much, so I haven't built kind of made my version of it yet. But that's a good one. So thank you. I'm going to put that in my note and see what can come out of it, so to speak, what we can do of it. So yep, because it's one of these places that definitely I think deserves looking into. But there is another one that I did something of for my campaign, and that's Bastion of Faith. In the module Bastion of Faith in the Hieronymus Temple, they have some interesting stories, and I took a legend and made it into a lair. And it's the legend is the legend of Ferrante, the first worshipper of Hieronymus, that is detailed in Bastion of Faith. And it's kind of interesting that he kind of, I should not spoil or exactly how it all ties together, but
does he do something villainous?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
So,
okay.
Yeah. So,
I was wondering where the switch is.
Yeah. So they're basically under the Bastion of Faith. There is a rumor that there is a sarcophagus with said Ferrante in it that is a lich, basically, and is buried under there, and it's kind of the dark secret of the Hieronymus priesthood, so to speak, is that this this Ferrante was buried there. So you should read Bastion of Faith to
Here's
get
the
all the
tale of
details.
Ferrante right here.
Yeah, exactly. And so I took that legend and kind of made a spin out of it. And in my campaign, I'm not going to tell exactly how I spun it, because there's more to this, because it's coming in the in my campaign. But the tomb of Ferrante and the Bastion of Faith is in Critwall.
Yes,
so
in both of our
Ferrante's
games.
exactly, yeah. So the tomb, I put it there because it's suggested in the Bastion of Faith that you should place it in Critwall. That's one of the places you can have it.
I call it
So
Shield Reclaimed.
yeah. Yep. So I put, actually, the Shield of Reclaimed is not exactly at that location. I moved it more closer into the city, so it will be not a separate symbol in my take on
Cool.
Critwall. But it under the temple is they buried Ferrante, so to speak. So he was one of the early ones. That's one of the reasons that Critwall is there, because it's Ferrante was, and it's not that's the myth, so to speak, is that Ferrante is buried there, and there's a spin to it, because the under there was the Bastion of Faith. There is a volcanic hole, so to speak. It's the Critwall is actually built on an eroded volcano that is eroded down, and there is a lava tube that used to be the cone, so it's an opening under it. And
a sister to White Plume Mountain.
yes, exactly. Like
Long dead.
volcanoes, yeah, volcanoes in the real world, whether they are under the ocean or on the land, when the crust moves, they kind of spin up their sister cones, so to speak, that are back in the day. If you look in old Scotland and many other places on the planet, you can find these at intervals, so to speak, and they're older the further away you get. And so there is this opening, and in there is that opening was used by the Flan before Critwall was around, long before for probably 1,000 years or so. They put their dead, they instead of bury them, they dumped them into that hole, because it was basically the hole into the netherworld for them. So they kind of put them there, and all these bones, they literally piled up over the years, and that's one of the stuff that Ferrante was kind of getting into. So there is more than one spin to it, and there is a bone ooze involved into it, and a whole bunch of other stuff. So it's a lair that is actually an evil villain in a way under the good, so to speak. So there is I have a spin on that story of Ferrante and the sarcophagus and the lichdom and stuff. So I have a variant of that story in my campaign, and I love the idea. I'm not taking this exactly the same spin as they have in the Bastion of Faith, but it's a great supplement, and it has some awesome ideas. And if you take that and write it into the history of the Erde and the history of Hieronymus Church and all that, you get some interesting stuff. So it's well worth to look into and see if you want to integrate it into your campaign.
It's kind of like the Templars in real life, where they had all these secret things that they
exactly
did.
I think that's the inspiration. Yeah.
That's cool.
And the story is crazy, and the story in my campaign, that story and myth is not the real story. The real story is both in weirder and kind of, it's different, so to speak. So and the characters are maybe this close to getting in on the story, and so we'll see, because there are going to be a Need festivities that is coming up, and one of the items on the agenda for that Need festival is that the inner the people that are into the Hieronymus faith, the ones that are truly getting introduced, they are going to find out the real story behind Ferrante and the myth. and they go to visit his sarcophagus and tomb and find out the real story, so to speak, because that myth is spread by enemies of Herodias, and that means that you have to find out the real truth, and the real truth is in many ways more fantastic than the story of and the myth around Ferranti. So I'm not going to say more, but stay tuned to my campaign,
cool.
and you can find out in the future, so to speak, and you can find
Stay
out
tuned.
Yep, and there is there is a monster called Fartak involved in this too, and there is Onwald, and Fartak is my creation, but Onwald is part of the Bastion of Faith, and it's kind of cool because that is a name that seems to be tied to Onwal and stuff, so it has an airy flair to it, and I really like it. So it's really cool. So
It's
so
a
that
great
one.
book.
Yeah. So Bastion of Faith, highly recommend it. Read it, tweak it, implement it into your campaign.
Another one of these black border books that is
Mhm.
it is Greyhawk. I mean, it's got
Yep.
Herodias and Hextor
Oh
specialty
yeah,
priests in it.
definitely. Yep.
For some reason, they genericized it and put it in
Yep.
so that they gave it sort of
Mhm.
all
Yeah.
other settings, which
Yeah,
is okay.
and the cool spin to this is also that it also depicts the story of the fight between Bahamut and Tiamat, which is super cool, because that's the story of how that got integrated into the Greyhawk campaign. And I took this several times further than the Bastion of Faith, because it introduces both Bahamut and Tiamat into it. And since in my campaign, Heronius and Hexter are aspects of Tiamat and Bahamut. And I got a part of that idea from the Bastion of Faith, because it hints to it so well, and it ties in really cool. So my campaign is the ultimate struggle between Tiamat and Bahamut, and they're going to go
Leonard
all
would
out.
have liked that because
Yeah.
he had them both as deities too, as major
Yep.
deities in his
Yep.
Zool pantheon.
Yep.
So
And it's hinted at with the backstories and stuff, which is super cool. Yeah.
great one, really awesome. All the back work you've done on that, Anna.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely. All right, Mike, what do you got?
Well, I'm starting to run a little low here, and I'm curious of what you still have on your list.
I have two left, so I
You
not
have
one.
Yeah.
two left.
I have two, so I'll go. I'll go next here.
Go ahead.
All right, so I ran this one just a little while ago, a really little while ago, like a month ago, and it was adventure number 1000 that we ran. And this is how it looks. This is how it looked on the table. If I can frickin' find, why do I have Anna? Why do I always have problems finding stuff here? I shouldn't have any problem finding this. There, is that it? There we go. That's all the encounters on there. All right, but if we go to this, I'll show the side view of it, and that is the Tomb of the Lizard King. Look at this lair. I love these side cut views. Oh, you can't see it because I'm on the wrong.
No,
I didn't
yeah,
go
you
over
need
here.
to.
So here's
There you
the
go.
way it looked
Yep.
on my table. All the encounters, right? Different ones, and I had to we did this in 9 hours, right? It was our 1000th. It was an ode to, so I had to run it quick. And I had to condense it down to finish it up. But look at this. Look at the layer. Now it says not to scale. Okay, but I love the side cut of it, how it shows
Me
where
too.
Yeah,
everything
you don't
is.
see that often.
Yeah, no, this is done very
Yep.
well too. It gives you an idea of just the amount of traveling you're going to have to do to get through all this. And here's the dragon's lair before you even get to the end. So yeah, it's a really nasty adventure, with an undead lizard king in it, so a vampiric one. And note, Sakath is one of the nastiest bosses there is, and that is a cool one. Yep, I really like it. So just wanted to share that one with you. I too, Tomb of the Lizard King.
Very cool.
Yeah, a great lair for two villains, a black dragon and the Lizard King himself. So I can go another one, Mike, if you.
Yeah, go for it.
Okay. This one you're going to find underneath these hell furnaces, right? That's where you're going to find this one. So we already showed it, but we're going to show a bunch of Lairs. Here's Vault of the Drow. My Bible for how Dark Elves should be in Greyhawk. Now, there's a ton of maps out there. Joe Block's done some, but this is here's your vault map. This is it all put together, and it's got some nice. This one's got like all the houses. Look at all. Now, you want to talk about villain Lairs? All the evil, all the 8 houses, all of the merchant clans, the fighter society is on here. The Black Tower itself, the cause of most TPKs in any getting in here with this iconic picture in D3, right? Just seeing that in the distance with knowing all the emanations coming off from all the phosphorescence. I just think it's so awesome. The Fane of Loth, which gets you to Q1, which you can go through the Fane here.
Escalation.
So yeah, it is really a cool place. It's a setting in itself. You could do adventuring down here.
Yeah, where does the ship fit?
Ship right here. You mean the shipping gets right here at the end? See? Oh, you can't see it on the map here. Hold on, let me see if I can blow it up. So there, right there, the underground river, pitchy flow here.
And then the
we had it so that what I did was made it a shrinkable boat. You know, one of those foldable or shrinkable boats so that you could take it. That's where that's it. That's where the ship fits. Yep. So it's on the map. And Rawhide Sinlu and Joe Block's done some great maps on here. I want to talk about evil Lairs. Yeah, this is an entire campaign setting. It's all two-handed rangers with panther pets. No. There's no dual wielding dark elves down here. Very few. No. Bucklers. Bucklers. Hand crossbows, bucklers. You got to have all that, all that fun stuff. This is not the world. This is not the world where of dual wielding all the time here. Yeah, not even the female fighters are mostly dual wielders. Most of them are shield bearers in the game here. So, D3, Scottish Jeff. This is the Vault of the Drow. Absolutely. So that was my last one that I had prepared. Okay. Yeah, I still have one. I have 2 others that are my own, but that's as far as, and that's under the Hell Furnaces here.
Okay.
Yep. So, Adam, Mike, do you have one? We got.
I have several more here, but yeah. So I have one that we now we're going into the territory of even the Undying that I used for my Rel Devon campaign, and it's kind of we all have the modern American myth or legend of the old grumpy old uncle, so to speak. The fantasy version of that is the Black Splinter, where the Crandon family that is it's a good clan of the Airdie, probably the Airdie at its best, so to speak, the Crandon noble house. And the Crandon, but they have the black sheep in the Crandon family too. And Crandon, they have an old vampire necromancer that runs Black Splinter, and now need to figure out his name here. Hang on a second here. And I need
Prince
to be able
Ferdinand is what Uncle
Yeah,
Fuzz
exactly.
says.
Prince Ferdinand. Thank you.
Fuzz.
Yep. Yep.
Very
Prince
cool.
Ferdinand. Yeah. So he's a vampire necromancer, and he runs Black Splinter, and he is just a grumpy old. But he is really grumpy and evil and stuff. But he's still a Crandon. So that means that he will still uphold the house, so to speak. So he will fight enemies of the house and stuff. So there is an interesting cooperation between Prince Crandon that is in Rel Devon and it's kind of so I think it's an interesting take to have to me it's basically like Ravenloft in a local kind of version. So if you really want to, you can probably switch it out. But I kind of like it that it's tied into the story of the setting. It's not detailed much. It's he has another helper, another vampire necromancer called Shadwell that is like 7th or 8th level or something. So you can start with him as your small villain, and then you can move up. And I also have that one of their they have a gardener called Ishma. She's a hag, so there's a night hag that is called Ishma. That she's the gardener of and she lives in a small and runs a little place called the Fang that is a couple of miles away. So she's the gardener and kind of goes around at night and making sure that if you sneak around and skulk around Black Splinter, you will have to do with Ishma, and also Prince Ferdinand also have his pet is a black shadow dragon called Ratukash, and she was the one that did some nasty attacks on the characters when they were sneaking around Black Splinter in my campaign. And that was one of my best dragon encounters I've ever had in my gaming career as a DM. And the dragon was laying in the lake near where they had a campsite, and that there were some goats that were drinking, and the black dragon spoils the water, so they started to smell bad, and a cadaver, a dead goat floated up and stuff, and the characters didn't get it. So eventually there was more stuff floating up, and the characters went down to investigate, and that's when Ratukash jumped on them, and we had a wonderful dragon fight. It was super fun. So Black Splinter, if you want a vampire and you want to have like a vampire nest that is set in Greyhawk, then go to Ivy the Undying and read about Black Splinter and Prince Ferdinand. It's kind of cool, and you can tie it into a lot of noble old disputes and fights and all sorts of stuff. You can really go into going deep with a lot of honor things and all sorts of stuff. You can tie it into it. So you can say that maybe you're going to one thing that I played with was, in order to get the characters in, was that the characters were asked by someone who had an issue with someone, and they named one of the characters their champion in a duel. And then but the opposing side was kind of a nasty little local villain who named took Black Splinter and Prince Ferdinand and named him his fighter, so to speak. So you can kind of, and then the characters have to kind of wiggle out of that one or something. So you can kind of tweak it in a lot of, and twist it in a lot of interesting ways. So yeah.
Yeah.
But if you want a classic
Big
vampire
stuff.
lair, then I think that Black Splinter fits
That's
the
not
bill.
Ravenloft.
Yeah.
Exactly, that is not Ravenloft. So yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. What happened to? I'm sorry. There's a tangent going on about how Bigby became a gnome in chat, and
Irrelevant.
yeah, wish spells, guys. My God, 9th level mages don't.
It's part
20th
of-
level mages don't have a wish spell. My
Yeah.
God.
It happens. Yeah.
Oh, jeez.
Sam,
Shit happens.
Sam actually segues into one of my last places, though.
Oh,
let's
cool.
and
do it.
that is the lair of Hamadar the Cruel in the Cron Hills
Yeah.
in Vecna Lives. This is,
Mhm.
you gotta admit, it's a nasty lair just for being a handful of rooms.
Yep.
When I read through the lair, it reminds me of the beginning of Raiders of the Lost Ark. You're going through, it's pretty much a railroad, straight tunnel, a few traps. Then you get to the final room and all hell breaks loose, right? Where this pretty much does in a group of wizards. If you have a party that are all consist of all of the same class, and the layer is designed to not allow teleportation, dimension door, pass wall, etc.
Right.
Yeah, they're done for. They're trapped.
Mhm.
Never mind all the other things that Hamadar can do. But I just think that we've talked a lot about undead and whatnot, and that's layer wise, it's one of the more straightforward layers you're going to find in published source. One that you can actually maybe borrow from if you don't want to be so cruel, but it's still a pretty straightforward design that anyone could use.
Very cool.
Now, I had another one I had to throw out real quick because
Go
I
for
know
it.
neither of you are going to have this. We talked a lot about dragons as well. And we have all heard of Dragotha. Dragotha's in Age of Worms. Dragotha is one of the like penultimate adventure. Is you fight Dragotha in Dragotha's lair in the Rift Canyon, right? In the Worm Crawl Fissure. I don't remember what that lair was like. I ran the adventure. I don't remember what it was like. All I remember is after this lengthy battle, there was like a huge treasure hoard worth 1 million gold pieces. And by the time the adventure path ended, my players never got to spend a single dime of it. So I thought that was kind of humorous in hindsight. But what I found digging through some of my notes online is they're predating that 1999 RPGA adventure, Dragotha's Lair by Bruce Cordell.
Bruce Cordell. Yeah.
Yeah. So a more condensed 7th level adventure where you're going through a much more manageable version of Dragotha, I would imagine. And I think it's set somewhere in the Great Swamp north of White Plume Mountain. So it's in that vicinity. It's not in the Rift Canyon, I don't think. But do you have that on your map, Anna?
Yeah, I'm right there.
Oh, yeah.
I'm right there.
Okay. Yep. All right. Great. Yeah, so when I saw that Dragotha layer, I'm thinking, well, that's much more charming to me.
Yep.
Yeah. There you go. And when they were designing Age of Worms, surely those guys knew about this module.
Oh, yeah. I'm sure they did. Yeah.
But they went and did a whole different Dragotha thing anyway.
This is an RPGA tournament module.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I thought that was kind of charming that exists out there. And I wonder if more people have that because I know I never ran it.
I haven't run it.
Know about it.
I have not run it yet.
But yeah, it's a tournament module. You could run that in a night.
Yes.
Yeah. It's not that complicated.
No, and there's just like normal skeletons in it. It doesn't make much sense for Dragotha.
I read
undead.
it, but yeah. And in my campaign, I made I'm making Dragotha a draconic demi-lich. So she's not a Draco-lich anymore. She's a Draco demi-lich. So she's kind of getting into those powers. So and she can use her powers to basically take over other dragons to fight for her. So yeah.
Yep.
That's cool.
Yep.
That is cool.
Poor Anna's poor players in Anna's campaign.
Oh, there's so many dragons that it's
they
kind
first
of,
level. They have to deal with so many.
Oh yeah.
High-level threats.
It's kind of real nasty. We start out with like 13th level demonologists, and we go from there, so to speak. So yeah. Caraptis and Dragotha and all sorts of stuff.
Dragotha's lair map there. There you go.
Yeah, I mean that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
That's a classic looking.
This is 23 years old. This is
nuts.
But
you can take some ideas from it and a few little homages into it when you make your version.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yep. You should.
So it's cool that it exists. That's the great thing. This and the other one that reminds me of this is Crossbows and Crossbones by Sean Reynolds. It was another tournament module for slavers. And I was lucky that he gave that to me. I actually ran that one live stream. I had, it had to do with the Malenti, which was cool. So, yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yep. Yeah. So that's great. Absolutely. All right. Mike, do you have any, thing there left?
I can say to Scottish, yes, that have happened several times. Yep.
Moose. Go ahead.
I was going to say I also have that they're causing the some of the evil dragons. They cause illusions, so they see things that aren't there and stuff. And sometimes it really the players bite when they see illusions like that, and they start going after them like crazy. So sometimes I'm lucky, and with it. So Dragotha took the players on a 3-session long illusion, so to speak. It was just a dream, and Dragotha took them off, and I just twisted the story more and more and more, and eventually they figured it out that this is not real, this can't happen, and they rolled 20 on their will save to figure it out, so to speak. So they kind of that they found out what that were actually in one of Dragotha's illusions. So yeah.
So Moose, I know you said Under the Storm Giants, and for me, the Judges Guild one. I have a place in Greyhawk, which is a great lair, is Dark Tower, and I even have Anna placed it on the map for me, up
Yep.
on in these Lord Mill area here, where Grand March and Dutch Ulick meet, kind of in no man's land up there. So that's where I placed it. Yeah. So
Cool.
yeah, another really great one.
Mhm.
So, what a fun discussion tonight, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah.
Having a blast with it. And it's good to get back, Anna, into the swing
Yeah.
here.
Mm-hmm.
It really,
Yep.
it really has been. All right. So, in closing, Mike, what do you got to say about this topic that you brought up?
In closing,
In closing for this topic, man.
well, Amos started off with a book, and I could finish with saying that for me, the ultimate layer of all time, the one that I personally would love to have if I were in the world of D&D, is Baba Yaga's hut.
Mm-hmm.
Another mobile layer like the Spire ship. But that is such a deep thing to talk about.
Well, here's my
I say
question:
that for the end.
do you like Roger Moore's version of the Dragon?
I enjoy all the versions.
All the versions. Okay.
I have ran all the versions. I've combined all the versions over the years. Yeah, I've used Bobby Yaga's more than probably any sane DM should.
Yeah, well, that's great.
That's awesome.
Yeah, really cool.
But yeah. So villain layers in general. We covered a lot of ground, I think, and the topic did work.
Yeah, definitely, absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Very cool. A Dark Tower, Moose, is like it's the best. It's on my wall of fame, right? So it's a good adventure and it's challenging. So yeah, thank you.
Thanks, Game Master.
Yeah,
Yeah,
thanks.
really appreciate that. So Anna,
Thanks,
what's your final thoughts on this discussion? And we'll
Well,
do some
I think
shout-outs.
it was a great one, so to speak, and like I always try to do is to kind of both define the topic and then try to break the bounds and see what you can do at and go haywire with it, so to speak. So I had one more on the list that didn't fit the bill because it's not villainous. It's actually a good guy hanging out, and that was my Ursaville Peak. That is a solar that was one of Hieronymus or Palor's rather. Back in the day when they fought Caraptis and Dragotha, back in the day in early air the settlements and stuff, when Dalvier was also active. Then Ursaville was one of Palor's and Hieronymus and stuff. So he was actually being he had nothing. He was standing on a little basalt pillar, so to speak, and he sacrificed himself, so he became part of the pillar, so to speak. And now the pillar is radiating good, and all the demons and stuff they can't resist. They have to go there and fight it. So Ursaville is still in that basalt pillar, so to speak, fighting. So he can come out, but he can't move away from it. So he's stuck in there, and it's a myth because he lures in all the Ayusian priests he can and then kill them and pile them up, so to speak. And when they see a pile of them, they get angry and come in, and so it's kind of a curse in a way. And he's a villain for a good villain that is there to kill evil, so to speak. So So it's kind of, it's one of these things that it's kind of a lure and a bait for evil, because they see it as they need to get him, so to speak, but he's just a natural force of nature now rather than real, so to speak. So it doesn't really fit as Villainous because he's a good guy, but it's kind of,
That's all right.
it's just the story. Yep, that was the last one on my list.
Hey, Rich. So, I enjoyed tonight.
Mm-hmm.
I tried to get off planet, and I did a couple times.
Yeah,
and,
you did.
Hold on.
So,
Yeah.
no one brought up White Plume Mountain there, Curtis, but that's okay.
That was on purpose.
Yeah. Enough
Yep.
with Careptus. I didn't bring up. There's a lot of those that are they Lairs. Like, is Ghost Tower of Inverness or Hidden Shrine to Moacan? They're kind of tournament. The tournament modules sometimes don't.
I
feel
try to
like it.
think to myself literally who is the villain in that layer.
Yeah,
And if I
exactly.
can't pick out
Picture
a
it.
single
Yeah,
big
it's a
boss
gem
fight,
in one
it
of them.
wasn't.
Right?
Yeah.
In Ghost Tower, it's a soul gem. So
Yeah. Right.
But this was a really cool discussion on the topic, and Mike, I'm glad you came up with it, and good to have you back, Anna, as we keep on moving forward with a lot of stuff going
Yep.
on.
Mm-hmm.
Keep on rolling here. So let's do some shout outs. Mike, what do you got going on?
Just doing my usual weekly gaming and summer activities. The county fair's in town, so I'm gonna get some
cool.
fair food.
When's Gen Con?
Gen Con is
Was it next
August
weekend?
4th?
You got a whole crew going, don't you?
No, it's just a handful of people who've
okay.
never been. Me and Brandy and a few other people that have never gone. So it's
so
we're
you
only
and
going
Brandy
for
are
a day and a
vets.
half.
Okay. Yeah.
Well, that's enough time
Damn,
to
I'm
get
good
to
to miss it. Yep.
We just want to hit the con
Thanks,
floor, walk around, and
cool.
see what's changed. I haven't been in several years, so that's coming up.
Getting jealous here. That's awesome. Yep.
Very cool.
You go to Gen Con.
Anna, what about you? What do you got going on?
This is starting to gear up for a normal week, so hopefully tomorrow I won't play in Von Malku's Nyron campaign. Hopefully tomorrow again, getting back in the gaming there. On Friday, we're going to have a mapping live stream in the evening as usual. Yep, and hopefully Linda can make it. If not, then I'll make it going myself and make that on Friday. I haven't really decided what to work on there because there's so many things to dig into. So, but there will be something I will work on Friday, and then there will be on Sunday we will have a Shieldlands game again at about 10:30 or 11ish Pacific. And that is, that's probably it. And then we have a Gabbin on Sunday that I don't even know what the topic is.
Well, if William Henry Dvorak is able to attend, we're going to do outdoor adventuring.
Awesome.
We're going to talk about, so if he's able to attend, that way we can do Rangers, Druids, his Druids, Dark Druids, the whole deal. But if not, then we're going to go to another topic. We'll push it off until he can attend. So I'm waiting on that. I'm waiting on him finalizing if he can make it.
Yeah.
So that'll be Sunday. We had a really cool one with the Inked Mage last week. Ed's coming back soon. Don't know have a date on that too, but we can get to that. So, you got a lot going on. That's great.
Yep.
Awesome. A couple things. First round of all the shirts went out for Virtual GrowdCon 4. Still have a bunch, except for Fat Guy shirts. I don't have any 3Xs left because they took them all in the first round of orders. So, sorry, I'm just joking, but yeah, they're all gone. But here's the Virtual GrowdCon 4 shirt. I have 2 X's, XLs, small, mediums, and larges. Okay? There's a couple in there. Yeah, Ed will be back. Events and signups are a little slow. I know it's early in the middle of July. Right now I got, thanks, Jeff, for doing that for Rip. I only have 9 events in. So thank you, Amy. Thank you, Curtis. Thank you, Les. Am I missing anyone? I think that's and myself. All right, that's what we got. Did anyone? Oh, and Dickerus so far for getting your events in. All right. So cool. Thanks, Mike. Keep them coming. All right. So that is what's going on there. let me just do this and show you, because I showed earlier. I'm not sure if I got a badge yet for this. January 6, 2024. Why isn't it doing search? Here it is. Here's the one I'm a VIP guest for, the Philadelphia page. First time,
Cool.
Philadelphia Area Gaming Expo. It's in Oaks, PA, January 4th to the 7th. So let me see if I'm on the guest list, if they added me yet. No, they have not added me on that yet. So
Is that a new convention or has
brand
it been
new,
going on?
brand new,
Okay,
first time.
cool. Yeah.
First time, and so and you would think, well, they're not going to have a lot of, but the vendor area is filling up. So yeah, it's going pretty well.
Yeah.
When can players start signing up for games? This way I can let my players know when they need to get a badge. So let me go back. Sign-ups are noon Eastern, August 19th, which is a Saturday, to make it fair for everyone. Okay, that's when sign-ups start. August 19th, noon Eastern. All right, so that's 5 weeks away still. Right, Rich? Very cool. Yeah, Ron is a good guy, and I work things out with Ron, and so I am having a seminar of Greyhawk. Joe Block's going to participate with me at that con in person. I'm going to stream that, and I'm going to at least do one game in Greyhawk that with my terrain that I'll stream as well. So at least. Yeah, please sign up. It's $5 plus a nominal fee. Very nominal. I just, to get this thing rolling. Yeah, sign up and rock and roll on this for Virtual GrowdCon. We're looking forward to having a great one. I know we got a whole bunch of events still coming from a lot of places. We just wanted to let you know that that's moving forward. Okay, so here's what's going on tomorrow night. If you saw the terrain posts, I got some. It's water-based time, everyone. I don't know if we'll see a lot of underwater action, but you never know. So here we go. It's set up. This is an adventure from my favorite little guy, who I've tried to reach out on Facebook, but he's never responded to me, and that is Matthew Klein from Creation's Edge Games. So this is a little event. I've seriously modified it. It's called the Siren's Beacon. Okay, I'm gonna run that tomorrow night for the Hiltless Swords. This is a prelude adventure that links into what we're doing afterwards, right afterwards, and that is Carlos Lysing's A9 Thicker Than Water, which we're gonna start next week, unless for some reason this one runs long and then we, but so just note, and this is all around this area of Hardby. As you can see, Patrick, your Blue Bay is here. So this takes place between Blue Bay and Safeton, right here, in this open area here. Okay, that's where we're going to be mostly at for this adventure. All right. Oh, are you, Greg? Good to hear. So Carlos is participating in Virtual GrowdCon, by the way. He will have a game. He will have a game, and it'll start at 10 o'clock on Friday night, and John will finish up an hour in, and then go into Carlos's game. It'll be late night, and then Carlos will go into Armin's game from New Zealand, super late night, just so you're aware. So the schedule's coming together on that. So there we go, and we got our nice little adventuring group on the ship here, and so ready to rock and roll for tomorrow night. That'll be a fun one. That's the Siren's Beacon. So I might as well keep this terrain up and use it, and my wife's working Saturday morning. So I have another all-star game coming Saturday morning. What could go wrong, huh? Smoke and Death on the Water. I couldn't help myself. I had Deep Purple on my mind. So, yes. And look at these. We got Little Bird. The only one who's iffy is Little Bird because she's moving to her new house. So, but she should be there. We got LJ. She'll be playing her Avenger. And Korg the Mighty from the Nerdy Guide. We got Mike Disney. We got Heather Hex. We got Rob Phantom, Tempest. What a group. This will be fun. It's going to be a fun game. So that is Saturday morning at 9 a.m. All right. Saturday morning, 9 a.m. coming up this Saturday. So I got something Thursday, got something Saturday, and then Sunday night we'll be gabbing. It'll either be outdoor adventuring or another topic, probably related to classes, maybe. We did dark arts. But we may go a little different direction with something I may do Holy Warriors. I may do something like Knights Cavaliers and such. We'll see. We'll see where it goes, depending on if Will can join Anna and me with that. Hey, John, thanks. Thank you so very much, John, for hanging out. We're going to do the giveaways right now. Here we go. We got a giveaway for last call. Your choice, all right, of one of these great adventures, and I'll send it right out tomorrow. Let's finish this up here, and here we go. You got in, Stefan. There you go. Let me close this out and see who the winner tonight is. By the way, I'm free and clear on all. All right, here we go. Closing entries. You just got in, Diner, dude. Woohoo! Nice. A 2-weapon fighter. There's nothing wrong with that. Winner, BB Fan. BB Fan Fun.
Awesome.
Congrats. Let me know what you have or what you don't have. I have a Treasures of Greyhawk. I have an Abyss Thor. Awesome adventure. I have a Ravenloft, Durgam's Folly. I have a Scarlet Brotherhood book. Yeah, I got some good stuff here. I have a Palace of the Silver Princess. So, BB, you let me know what you want. I don't have any Lizard Kings. I think the Lizard King got taken last week by 491 Phantom. He took the last one I had. So, you can yell at him. Yeah, I don't have that, unfortunately. I had like 3 or 4 of them, and I gave them out, and I had one left, and it got taken last week. Yeah, you got it. Scarlet Brotherhood's yours. I should have your address, BB. So, where is it? And let's raid. We're gonna raid into Catacomb Gaming, who recently joined the Greyhawk stream team. All right. So we got another new member of the stream team. So say hello to everyone knows Garner from Gary Con. So we're gonna raid into him. Yep. Thank you, sir. Hey, great. If you need me for Dark Tower questions, I know the old school one like the back of my hand. What a great adventure. So you're welcome. Everyone, see you tomorrow night, 7:30. Oh, Portrait Works giveaway tomorrow, and that is a full version of their portrait creator. You will win, and then I will do one. If you already have it, Reaper miniature pack for someone. If you win the drawing and you already have that, then I'll do one of those as well. So awesome.
Great.
See you all soon. See you tomorrow. Let me hit a wrong button here. Doon, 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 doon. All right, setting the raid up. We're going to Catacomb Gaming. Boom, boom, boom. Building up there. Thank you all for a great stream. Nice. 70, 69, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Everyone have a good night. See you tomorrow night. We got 70 there.